Good day, everyone. Today we are going to begin one of the most important foundational topics in medical science, anatomy and physiology. Before we can understand diseases, drug actions, or treatments, we must understand how the normal body is built and how it works. That is why this chapter is so important. Let me start by explaining the meaning of the two terms. Anatomy simply means the study of structure. We look at the parts of the body, how they are shaped, where they are located, and how they relate to each other. Physiology, on the other hand, is the study of function. It explains how each part works, how organs carry out their roles, and how everything fits together to maintain life. Structure and function are always linked. For example, the skull is hard and fused, so it can protect the brain. And the air sacs in the lungs are extremely thin, so oxygen can pass easily through them. To understand the human body, we study it at different levels of organization. At the most basic level, we have atoms and molecules such as DNA, protein, and glucose. These molecules come together to form cells, which are the basic structural and functional units of the body. When similar cells join together, they form tissues. There are four main types: epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue, and nervous tissue. When different types of tissues combine, they form organs like the stomach or the heart. These organs then work together as systems. For example, the stomach, intestines, liver, and pancreas form the digestive system. And when all the systems work together in harmony, we get the entire human organism. The body has 11 major organ systems, each with its own important function. The integumentary system includes the skin, hair, and nails and helps protect the body. The skeletal system gives structure and support. The muscular system allows the movement, and the nervous system controls activities using nerve impulses, while the endocrine system controls activities using hormones. The cardiovascular system transports nutrients and oxygen, and the lymphatic system helps defend the body. The respiratory system allows the gas exchange, and the digestive system breaks down the food. The urinary system removes waste, and the reproductive system allows the continuation of species. Now let's talk about what makes something alive. Living human beings perform several essential life processes. We have metabolism, which includes all chemical reactions in the body. We have responsiveness, which is the ability to detect and respond to changes. Movement is another key process, whether it is walking, the beating of the heart, or movement inside the cells. Growth occurs when we increase in size, and differentiation allows the unspecialized cells to become specialized, like stem cells becoming the blood cells. And reproduction can mean either producing new cells for repair or producing an entirely new individual. When these processes stop, life stops. Now we move to part 2, homeostasis. This is one of the most important ideas in physiology. Homeostasis means maintaining a stable internal environment. Even though the outside world changes constantly, our internal conditions must remain within a narrow, healthy range. For example, our body temperature stays close to 37 degrees, our blood glucose stays within a set limit and our blood pressure is tightly controlled. When the homeostasis is disturbed, disease begins. The body contains two major types of fluids involved in maintaining stability. Inside the cells we have intracellular fluid and outside the cells we have extracellular fluids, which includes interstitial fluid, blood plasma, lymph, cerebrospinal fluid, synovial fluid, and even the fluids inside the eyes. The composition of the extracellular fluid is what we call the body's internal environment, and the body works constantly to regulate it. Homeostasis is maintained through control systems. These systems involve three components: receptors, control center, and effectors. Receptors detects the changes and the control center, which is usually the brain, evaluates the information and decides what to do. And effectors carry out the response. For example, if your blood pressure becomes too high, receptors in the vessels detect it and the brain receives the message and responds. And the heart adjusts its pumping rate to bring the pressure back to normal. There are two types of feedback systems. The first and most common is negative feedback. In negative feedback, the body reverses a change and brings conditions back to the normal range. Blood pressure regulation and temperature control are perfect examples. The second type is positive feedback, which is less common. Positive feedback strengthens the change instead of reversing it. A classic example is childbirth. As the baby pushes against the cervix, stretch receptors send a message to the brain, and the brain releases oxytocin, which increases the uterine contractions, causing more stretching, more oxytocin, and stronger contractions. This cycle continues until the baby is delivered, after which the cycle stops. When homeostasis is disrupted severely, we call it homeostatic imbalance. This leads to disorders or diseases. Symptoms are the things a patient feels, such as nausea or pain, while signs are the things we can measure or observe, like fever, rash, swelling, or high blood pressure. To describe the body accurately, we use standard anatomical terminology. Everything is described relative to the anatomical position. In this position, the person stands upright, faces forward, keeps the arm at the sides with the palms facing forward, and the feet flat on the ground. We use directional terms like superior, inferior, anterior, posterior, medial, lateral, proximal, distal, superficial, and deep to describe the exact locations of structures. We also use body planes such as sagittal, frontal, and transverse planes to describe how the body is divided. The body contains several cavities that protect organs and allow them to move. The dorsal cavity contains the brain and spinal cord. The ventral cavity contains the thoracic cavity, which houses the heart and lungs, and the abdominal cavity, which contains the stomach, liver, intestines, bladder, and reproductive organs. These cavities are lined by serous membrane, which reduce friction between the organs. To make it easier to describe the location of organs, especially the abdomen, anatomists divide the area into 9 regions, such as epigastric, umbilical, and hypogastric regions, or into four quadrants: the right upper, the left upper, the right lower, and the left lower quadrants. These divisions are especially useful in clinical settings. For example, appendicitis pain usually occurs in the right lower quadrant. So, to summarize everything we've discussed today, we explored the meaning of anatomy and physiology, the levels of organization, the organ systems, the life processes, and the concept of homeostasis, along with the feedback systems. We learned the basic anatomical term body planes, body cavities, and abdominal regions. All of this forms the foundation for everything else you will learn in medical science. Thank you.